Hey kids, we're back on this 1992 Suzuki QuadRunner. It's been a few months since we've been on this. We were working on that Ford Focus for quite a long time. The next job we want to do is to get these brakes replaced, get the wheel on, and this side will be done. Yesterday I had a look at this and I had broken a bolt off here. There was a bolt that goes up through to hold that brake line on. I sprayed it down and I heated it to try to soften it up. I took my time and drilled into the bolt, and I tried to use an easy out, and I don't know why, but I don't think I've ever had success with them. I even went and bought a different kind yesterday and tried them, and no luck. So this actually goes straight through. So I just drilled right up through it, and hopefully I can just put a bolt through that and hold it. Or I could tap it for a new screw, I suppose. The next thing we have to do is put this brake panel back on. I took the old brake cylinder out of it, and here's a replacement for it. It's all over the place online that you don't have to go through Suzuki. You can get this replacement and it works perfect. Here's the old wheel cylinder. It's seized up. Need these bolts. Here's a new wheel cylinder, and those bolts will fit perfect. Okay, tighten that up. Oh, yesterday I took off the cover to the master cylinder on the handlebar, and the brake fluid was just all gummed up, almost like what happens to gasoline over time. So I cleaned that all out. I tried to blow air up through the brake line. That didn't work, so I'm a little bit concerned about that. Some brake fluid has leaked out on the floor over time, but I don't know if we're gonna have to get a new brake line. I guess we'll find out as soon as we get this hooked up. These are a 10 mil. Grab the bolts that hold that in. These wheel cylinder bolts are 9.5 to 13 foot-pounds. These brake panel bolts are 13 to 20 foot-pounds. Okay, we're on the back of the brake panel. Take the bleeder screw out so I can see what I'm doing here. The next thing we need to do is flush out that old brake fluid out of the line. So I have a clear tube on the bleeder screw. The hose wasn't behaving itself, so I tied it up. And it's going to go down into that jar, and I put a little bit of fluid in the bottom of it, keep the air from coming back up. And I have the master cylinder full of fluid. I wasn't able to bleed any fluid through here, so I took this apart, and this part here didn't have any blockages. And I have a Mighty Vac. I hooked that up to it and tried to draw a vacuum through it. That never worked. I tried to blow air through it. I'm just going to grab some gloves here. So to get at all these cables up top, you have to take these plastics off. And you know, those bolts are 35 years old now. So I didn't really want to do that. I think that'd be a nightmare to get into. So I'm part of this group in Australia, and I put in a note there yesterday that I'm out of options. I don't know what to do. And a guy told me to get some wire out of a welder and feed it in. So that seems to be working. I'm finally getting fluid coming out, so I'm hopeful that I'm going to be able to draw some fluid through. When I squeeze that lever now, I get some fluids coming out. So there we go. We're in good shape now. So I will hook that back up. All right, these are the parts that we need to put on here. It has been months since I've looked at this, so I'm just going to take it slow. In hindsight, I should have done this on the bench instead of putting it on here. I'm going to be putting some of this on the contact parts. There is some controversy that it causes rubber to puff up, so I won't be putting it on any rubber, and it only has a reaction to certain types of rubber. But Permatex has come out with a new silicone-based lubricant, but I'll use this for today because this is what I have. So the shoes ride along these spots right here. So we'll just put a little on them. And of course I didn't want that much. A little dab on here. This is a stopper that runs on this shoe, on the leading shoe. And there's a little E-clip that holds that on. All right, had to put it on the floor to get on it. Now this strut is the adjuster, and it goes in that must go like that. And there's two types of brake shoe holder spring. And the pins. I should probably put some of this junk on there too. Now that little bar right there has to lean against this side right here. So that has to go on like so. Next up is this little spring here. Goes from the strut. We didn't like that. Everybody back in your spots. Right now, this thing here is ratcheted all the way out, so the shoes are all the way out. I want to get this hook in this furthest hole. There. Okay, that's in. Now we have a bottom spring. It just goes through there like that. Like so. I'm going to crack the bleeder and see if I can push that piston in. I think that's what's holding me up now. Okay. The spring has to go all the way out there, I think. Like so. That lever is supposed to be on the side of that spring. And this is supposed to be pushed all the way in. And the first time you press your brakes, it's going to come out, but you need it all the way in so you can get the drum on. Might need a bigger screwdriver. Push it in. There. Get that recorded? I hope so. Now that should go on. Yeah, okay, good. All right, let me grab some more parts. I had some anti-seize on here so it wouldn't rust, but the manual calls for wheel bearing grease. And it says to put it in here as well. We had such a hard time getting that off. I hate to put it back on there. Hello? Now this little piece here holds this dust cap on, and it has been up pretty bad. I tried my best to straighten it. I'll probably go to Suzuki and see if I can get a new one of those. And then we had the washer. And then we had a castle nut. And I have a torque for that. So before we do that, I'm going to see, I'm going to put this on. I thought it went on all the way. That doesn't seem like it went back far enough. Not even close. Needs to go a little bit more. Happy with that. The reason I knew that wasn't on there was this seal right here wasn't getting back far enough. So there we go. Oh, missed a part. There's another little seal that goes right there. This little O-ring. Just throw a couple nuts on there to hold it. Okay, I want to try to bleed those brakes next. Okay, I'm going to pump it up on the handlebar, hold it, press the handlebar all the way in, close it, pump it back up on the handlebar, hold it, release the air, close it. Okay, I added more brake fluid up top in the reservoir, pumping it up on the handlebar, release the bleeder, let it go to the bar, close. I think we're pretty good there. I have a little cover for the bleeder, put that on the back. I made a mistake. That line right there, that brake line right there is supposed to be on the other side of that. So I'm going to have to fix that, but I'll deal with that later. The torque on this is 61.5 to 83 foot-pounds. I have the front brake on. We'll have to pop the wheel on. Gonna move you back just a hair. Roll this wheel in. These lugs are 32.5 to 47 foot-pounds. See if I can hold the brake here. And that on there like so. There. So that's the right side done. Now I'm going to do the exact same steps that I've done in the last few videos to the left front. And if I see anything exciting, I will turn you back on. And after that, we're going to get at the rear brakes. So stay tuned. Thanks for hanging out. Later. Hold everything. Forgot an important part. I forgot to put the cotter pin in. Now, I don't have anything that beefy, but I couldn't get that one through, and you're not supposed to reuse them anyways, but I'm not going to be driving the bike. I have a bunch of cotter pins, but they're all just too thin. Well, I guess I might be able to use that one. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll cut that off. Like I said, I need to fix the brake line in behind. I'm not going to unhook that until I fix the left side front brakes, because I'll have to bleed the brakes anyways. So, and I'm not going to be driving the bike. One like that. And that needs to be cut a little bit shorter. And the other piece, push back like that. And cover back on. Okay, guys, now we're done.